couple months ago, I was talking to one of my daughters about school, and we were talking about homeschool versus public school versus Christian school. And she asked me, Mom, do you wish you were homeschooled? For reference, I went to a Christian school my entire life from preschool all the way through graduation, and it was the same school. So I only knew one school my entire life, a very small private Christian school. So she asked me, Mom, do you wish you were homeschooled? And it got me thinking. And I was like, I'm not going to lie. My very first thought was, no, not even a little bit. So I told her, well, back in the 90s, not a lot of people homeschooled. It was really mostly just missionaries, and it wasn't really heard of. So I kind of left it at that. She was fine with that. I did not make it sound bad or anything like that. Obviously, we homeschool, so I don't want to put a negative taste in her mouth. But back then, the general consensus, and I will say I was very sheltered. I was no public school. I only hung around Christian school kids, all that. But even we were like, homeschoolers, oh my goodness, they are weird. Like, we go to a Christian school, I know, but like homeschoolers was just like next level. It's awful. I know, it's awful. So no, I would have never wanted to. That was my initial thought. But then I kept thinking about it over the last couple months, really, truly thinking about it. And when I think sometimes back on my experience in my Christian school and church and things like that, thankfully, I did have the opportunity for my mom to be involved with some of those things. So she taught me in one of my junior high classes, one or two of my junior high classes. She taught the children's church on Wednesday nights in the summer, and it was so much fun. Like, I still remember it to this day. There's things that she taught me in math class, like as my teacher, that I still remember to this day, that I tell my kids, and I still use those math concepts all the time. She had the opportunity to speak in a couple chapel services, like when they would divide the girls and the boys. They had a girl chapel and a boy chapel. She would like speak into a couple of those. So I had the opportunity to have my mom in like a teaching setting for a good amount of time. And I will say that everything she said, it really sunk in. I paid attention. I listened. It had an impact on me, so much so that like I still remember a lot of the stuff till this day. And you may think, well, she must just be a really good teacher, really influential. And yes, I'm sure that is the case. But I can't help but think that when you have a loved one who is there teaching you and instructing you, and I can't speak from homeschool experience because like I said, I've never been homeschooled myself. That is the only exposure I have. And so you have a tendency, personally, I think, to be cheering for them, be more eager to listen to what they have to say. And it turned my thinking around. It really did. And I went from, no, I would never wish I would homeschool. Like, I didn't want to go to a public school. I was totally fine going to my Christian school, to kind of like, you know what? Maybe that would not have been such a bad idea after all. And I don't regret my Christian school experience. I had a really good experience for the most part. I mean, I felt safe there, secure. I think it was a good place. I don't regret it. But had I wish I had been homeschooled? I thought more of it. And I'm like, you know what? The more I think about it, I feel like that would have been really, really cool. My mom has grown up. I grew up and we actually butted heads a lot growing up, and now we're best friends. We're very close, talk to each other all the time. We just live a couple minutes away. She has helped homeschool my girls, and we're very, 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 very close. And we have a great relationship. But I'm like, that would have been actually really cool, I think, had she been homeschooled me. I don't think I would have appreciated it at the time. I know I wouldn't have. But I think in reality, those memories would have been so much more, they would have just outweighed any ill will or ill feelings I would have had toward homeschool. And this is what I am presuming looking back on it. Just us reading together, us doing different projects. She always laughs that, if she homeschooled me, I'd still be in third grade because she'd never have enough discipline to make sure we went through with it. That is not true. but I just really, really enjoyed any time she taught us. Like, I really enjoyed it and soaked up. And I think all of this is, I'm trying to say, I think that most children are naturally eager to learn from their parents, and they want to learn from their parents. And if you're sitting here as a frustrated homeschool mom, you've had a frustrating, really bad day where one of your children has cried, the other has screamed, the other one has melted down, they're all fighting and nobody's listening to you. You're like, yeah, right. You have no idea what you're talking about. I've had those days. I have them all the time. They happen. They still happen. We've been homeschooling for 6 years and there's no end in sight of them not happening. I had to say that. I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but it's true. You know, those days happen. That is all part of it. It's not lovely. That's not the lovely part of homeschooling, but it happens. But I think that naturally our children do want to learn from us. Why do you think that every little thing that they do, you know, when they're 3 or 4 or 5, even 10 years old, Mom, look what I can do. And they like, you know, oh, okay, good job. They want to show us every little thing because they're eager to impress us, but they're also eager to learn from us, and they want to bake with us. That's why they get so excited to bake. Or, you know, like my husband, whenever he's doing something out in the yard, oh, can I see what you're doing? Because they want to learn from us. We're their closest people. We're their first people. It's natural. It's biological. They are meant to do the bulk and majority of their learning from us. And I just cannot help but to think that what good memories and great, amazing memories we would have had my mom homeschooled us. Yes, we would have had those bad days. We would have had all the things that happen to any normal, typical homeschool family. I'm not romanticizing it and making it seem like it would have been completely perfect, but I really do think it would have been a great experience. And I had many, many great memories of traveling and all that growing up with my family that I don't regret, or not only not regret, that I really love. And they were some of the happiest times of my life. And I was with my family. And I just think that would have been an amazing experience. And I know not every homeschool experience is great. I know there's people who homeschooled that hated it and they're bitter about it and all that. But I just think the majority of our kids, and this is just to encourage you, is they want to learn from us. They will take in obviously more from us than any other single individual person. So all that to say, take heart on those tough days, on the days where you're like, oh my goodness, my children hear me nonstop from the moment they get up. I'm the person telling them to brush their teeth, get on their clothes, make their bed, eat breakfast, and I'm the person telling them that no, they can't have this and they can't have that, and I'm the person teaching them, and they just hear my voice so much that they just completely tune me out. They're hearing more than you think. They're absorbing more than you think, for good or bad. Hopefully it's mostly good. And I just can't help but think how many more hundreds of amazing memories we would have had, and how much more wisdom I would have gleaned from my mom had I had all those years to be homeschooled, because she's so wise and she has so much great advice. I wonder how things would have looked. And again, I had a good experience, but if you were to ask me, like, sure, I kind of do wish my mom had homeschooled me. This is just an encouragement to you that to keep it up, to keep going. I know the days are hard. I know you feel like giving in the towel. I know they can be frustrating, and I know you feel like, am I even making a difference? But take heart, because our kids, they're listening and they are absorbing and they are learning. And yes, there will be pushback, and yes, there will be difficult, tough, rough, even terrible days or weeks or months. Although we cannot guarantee anything, we cannot guarantee that our children will grow up and be super happy that they homeschooled. If this is the calling that, you feel like the Lord has placed on you, keep with it, because it is for a reason and it is for a purpose. And they will retain significantly more from us as parents. That is the way that God intended it to. There is a natural built-in sort of learning, teaching dynamic there. And it's pretty beautiful when you think about it. So that is just some thoughts. I hope it is some encouragement for you. That's something that I try to keep in mind on my rough days and the days that just are not going swimmingly. And thinking about that just kind of encourages me. Thanks so much for being here, guys. I, as always, appreciate it. I know I say that a lot, but it's very true. I really do appreciate you being here. If you did like this video, you can give it a thumbs up, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.